It was a quiet evening, but the city never truly sleeps. Streetlights flickered, casting long, wavering shadows across empty sidewalks, while the distant hum of traffic whispered through the alleys. Somewhere in this urban labyrinth, a young girl walked home, unaware that her life was about to change forever. The wind carried the faint scent of rain mixed with exhaust fumes, and the soft rustle of leaves seemed almost louder than it should have been. Her name was Ananya Suzy Poupart, a student, a daughter, a friend. Friends describe her as radiant, full of laughter and full of dreams. She loved painting, writing poetry, and had recently begun learning the guitar, strumming chords that reflected her bright and hopeful spirit. Her parents remember her last smile that morning, a smile so ordinary, so fleeting, yet now unbearably precious. Every simple gesture she made that day, the way she tucked her hair behind her ear, the gentle sway of her bag as she walked, felt ordinary, yet now holds a tragic significance. The streets she walked were familiar, yet shadows seemed to linger in corners she never noticed before. A soft breeze stirred the leaves, masking quiet footsteps that might have followed her unnoticed. In those fleeting moments, the city itself seemed indifferent, watching silently as events unfolded. Could anyone have sensed the danger creeping closer, lurking just beyond the reach of the lamplight? Later, investigators would pore over CCTV footage, retracing her path frame by frame. Each image told a story, small, seemingly ordinary moments that now appeared ominous in hindsight. A pedestrian glancing at their phone, a dog barking in the distance, a window left ajar. Every ordinary scene now carried the weight of impending tragedy. Even the flicker of a streetlight seemed to foreshadow the darkness that lay ahead. Her life until that night had been filled with small joys and comforting routines. But in an instant, all of it was shattered. The story we are about to uncover is not simply about a crime. It is about life, fleeting moments, choices made in an indifferent world, and the fragile line between safety and danger. As we peel back the layers, follow the twists, and confront the shadows, you will see the shocking truth hidden behind the veil of an ordinary city night. A truth that would change everything for those left behind.
As night deepened, the absence of Ananya Suzy Poupart became increasingly alarming. Friends called repeatedly, but the phone remained silent, each unanswered text sending waves of unease through those who cared for her. Her parents scoured the house, opening each door, checking every corner, their hearts pounding with dread. The familiar spaces of home now felt strange and empty, echoing with the weight of uncertainty. Outside, the street seemed indifferent. Shadows stretched along the sidewalks and distant traffic hummed like an oblivious lullaby. A street lamp flickered overhead, casting intermittent light on otherwise darkened alleys. Each passing car and each rustle of leaves made the night feel heavier, each ordinary sound magnified by worry. Neighbors began to notice the anxiety that had settled over the community. Some recalled glimpses of her earlier, walking briskly past a corner store, pausing to tie her shoelace, her laughter echoing briefly before fading into the night. These seemingly trivial details at the time unnoticed now carried the weight of ominous significance. The search quickly expanded beyond the home. Alleyways, parks, and empty streets were combed carefully by volunteers and local authorities, flashlights slicing through the darkness. Every step was cautious, every shadow examined. Concern grew with each passing minute. Would she be found before it was too late? Authorities arrived with flashing lights and purposeful urgency, turning the quiet streets into a scene of meticulous investigation. Officers noted footprints, examined objects, and documented every potential clue. Even a crumpled piece of paper, a discarded bag, or a faint smear in the mud became a potential lead. The city, usually indifferent to the lives of its residents, now seemed to hold its breath. Through it all, one chilling question lingered in the minds of all searching. Who could take Ananya Suzy Poupart in a world so familiar, so ordinary, yet suddenly shadowed by fear? Each passing hour intensified the tension, making every detail, no matter how small, crucial to uncovering the truth.
Neighbors spoke of fleeting glimpses, shadows moving too quickly to recognize, and sounds that now seemed ominous in hindsight. Some remembered a figure walking briskly along the street, hood pulled low, hands buried in pockets. Others recalled Ananya Suzy Poupart's laughter, echoing briefly before fading into silence, a sound that now seemed hauntingly final. CCTV footage, painstakingly collected from nearby shops and homes, revealed even more. A shadowy figure appeared from a side street, paused for just a moment as if observing, then vanished back into darkness. Every frame was frozen and scrutinized repeatedly. Detectives replayed these images countless times, analyzing each subtle movement, every hesitation, every step. Even the flicker of a passing car's headlights or the sway of a tree branch was noted as investigators searched for patterns, connections, or clues that could explain the sudden disappearance. Officers on foot retraced her path, their flashlights cutting through alley shadows. Footsteps, once ordinary, now seemed loaded with meaning. Small details became monumental. A leaf crushed at an odd angle, a discarded wrapper, a scuff on the pavement. Each clue was cataloged, photographed, and cross-referenced with witness statements and phone records. Interviews with neighbors added layers of complexity. Accounts differed. A figure seen but not recognized, a sudden sound dismissed at the time, a fleeting silhouette at a window. Conflicting memories created a tangled web of uncertainty, forcing investigators to carefully sift truth from perception. Every recollection, every hesitation, every contradiction became critical in piecing together the events of that fateful night. Through it all, a chilling realization emerged. The night held secrets, and someone, perhaps unseen, perhaps unsuspected, knew more than they were willing to reveal. And as the investigation deepened, it became clear that uncovering the truth would require patience, intuition, and unwavering attention to every detail in the city that had become both familiar and threatening.
As the investigation progressed, attention turned to those who had been near Ananya Suzy Poupart in the hours leading up to her disappearance. Friends, acquaintances, and even strangers were meticulously scrutinized. Every alibi was examined, every story cross-checked with available evidence, and every movement traced through the city's web of streets and surveillance cameras. Detectives dug into phone records and social media activity, creating intricate timelines of the night. Connections, both obvious and hidden, began to surface. Seemingly casual interactions revealed tensions, minor disputes, and unresolved conflicts. Even friends who seemed trustworthy showed cracks in their recollections, while neighbors who appeared uninvolved became unexpectedly significant. The team worked tirelessly, assembling a network of information that grew increasingly complex. Each new lead, each piece of evidence, prompted more questions than answers. Contradictory witness statements and minor discrepancies created a fog of uncertainty, making the search for truth even more painstaking. In parallel, the city carried on, unaware of the meticulous work unfolding in its quiet corners. Yet in the offices of investigators, tension was thick, each decision deliberate, each clue carefully weighed. The shadows of the night were not the only unknowns. Those who had been near Ananya Suzy Poupart held secrets, some perhaps innocuous, others potentially critical. Through it all, the investigation pressed forward, a careful balance between urgency and precision, as authorities sought to untangle the complex web surrounding the disappearance. Every observation, every connection, and every overlooked detail might be the key to uncovering the truth hidden within the ordinary streets of a city suddenly fraught with danger.
Truly understand the weight of this tragedy, we step back into the life of Ananya Suzy Poupart, a student with a curious mind, a daughter full of love, a friend whose presence lit every room she entered. Her days were filled with simple joys, morning classes, sketching in her notebook, strumming chords on her guitar, and dreaming of travels she hoped to take. Each detail of her daily routine reflected a bright and hopeful spirit, completely unaware of the darkness that would soon intervene. Family members recall the ordinary moments now etched with extraordinary poignancy. Laughter echoing through the house, late-night conversations over tea, the countless little gestures of care that often go unnoticed until they are gone. Friends remember her encouragement, her infectious energy, and the way she could transform an ordinary day into a memorable one. Even small hobbies, like painting or writing poetry, reveal the vibrancy of her inner world. Her creativity was not just a pastime. It was a reflection of a mind alive with ideas, feelings, and dreams. Each notebook page, each guitar chord, became a symbol of a life full of potential, abruptly interrupted. These glimpses into Ananya Suzy Poupart's life remind us that she was more than a victim of a terrible night. She was a vibrant soul, a young woman whose absence leaves a void in the hearts of everyone who knew her. And as we reflect on her life, we are reminded of the fragility of existence, the fleeting nature of safety, and the profound impact a single life can have on those around it. In remembering her, we honor not only her memory, but also the urgency with which we must confront the darkness that claimed her, ensuring her story is told with the care, attention, and dignity it deserves.
After days of painstaking investigation, a breakthrough finally emerged. A small, previously overlooked detail, a fingerprint smudged on a discarded item, a faint shoe print partially hidden in the mud, a witness recalling a fleeting but crucial observation, suddenly shifted the trajectory of the inquiry. Forensic experts meticulously re-examined the scene. Every fragment of evidence, no matter how insignificant it seemed at first, was cataloged, photographed, and cross-referenced. Fiber analysis, trace DNA, and microscopic impressions began to reveal a pattern previously invisible to the naked eye. What once appeared to be random objects and footprints now formed a coherent narrative pointing toward possible suspects and events. Detectives reconstructed timelines, overlaying witness statements with physical evidence. The city's quiet corners were analyzed for overlooked details: a disturbed bush, a scuffed wall, the faint echo of a door closing. Each discovery added a new layer to the puzzle, slowly illuminating the chain of events that had led to Ananya Suzy Poupart's disappearance. Inside the investigation rooms, tension was palpable. Each discovery brought hope tempered by caution. The investigators were acutely aware that every second counted. Any misstep or overlooked detail could mean losing the crucial thread that tied everything together. Outside, the city carried on, oblivious, its ordinary rhythm in stark contrast to the urgent, precise work being conducted within. And yet, for the first time since that fateful night, there was a sense that the truth might finally be within reach, a possibility born from patience, expertise, and relentless attention to detail, promising that justice could one day be served.
With new leads in hand, authorities conducted a series of interrogations. Each suspect was questioned meticulously, every word scrutinized, every reaction observed for subtle hints of deception. Silence often spoke louder than words, and the investigators' trained eyes searched for the slightest twitch, a hesitant pause, or a contradiction that might reveal hidden truths. Profilers worked alongside detectives, analyzing behavioral patterns and psychological cues. They looked for motives, opportunities, and inconsistencies in each statement. Each session felt like a high-stakes game, where a single word or reaction could illuminate the dark path of that night. Meanwhile, outside the interrogation rooms, the city's normal rhythm persisted, seemingly oblivious to the tension unfolding behind closed doors. But inside, the pressure was immense. Detectives and interrogators navigated a delicate balance between empathy and rigor, coaxing stories from those who might not have wanted to share them. Through careful questioning, small revelations began to emerge. Fragments of truth were pieced together. Discrepancies in alibis, fleeting admissions, unspoken tension, and behavioral tells. Each session contributed to a growing mosaic of the night's events, slowly narrowing the circle of uncertainty. Every decision mattered, every question asked, every pause observed, every body language clue interpreted. The path to understanding what had happened to Ananya Suzy Poupart was painstakingly constructed, step by step, in the quiet intensity of interrogation rooms, while outside, the world remained unaware of the critical moments that could finally bring clarity and justice.
The investigation soon pointed toward a key suspect, a figure whose movements, behavior, and connections could no longer be ignored. Surveillance footage, witness statements, and forensic evidence all converged, creating a chilling portrait of someone intimately linked to the events of that night. Authorities meticulously planned their approach. Teams were coordinated, routes traced, and every detail anticipated to prevent escape. The city streets, previously calm and ordinary, became a stage for an unfolding drama, where every turn, every intersection, and every shadow could alter the outcome. Then the pursuit began. Police cars sped through the city, sirens piercing the night, while officers moved with deliberate urgency. The suspect attempted evasive maneuvers, weaving through alleys and side streets, leaving traces for keen-eyed investigators to follow. Each second heightened the tension, the city itself seemingly holding its breath. Onlookers caught glimpses of the chase, flashing lights reflected in windows, tires skidding on wet pavement, officers communicating over radios with precision and urgency. The narrative of that night, once confined to shadows, now unfolded in real time, with each heartbeat of the pursuit echoing the stakes of justice and accountability. Every decision, every turn, every movement had consequences. The investigation team pressed forward, driven by the memory of Ananya Suzy Poupart and the urgency to restore safety and order. And as the chase intensified, the city streets, previously calm and ordinary, became a stage for an unfolding drama, where every turn, every intersection, and every shadow could alter the outcome. The investigation soon pointed toward a key suspect, a figure whose movements, behavior, and connections could no longer be ignored. Surveillance footage, witness statements, and forensic evidence all converged, creating a chilling portrait of someone intimately linked to the events of that night. Authorities meticulously planned their approach. Teams were coordinated, routes traced, and every detail anticipated to prevent escape. The city streets, previously calm and ordinary, became a stage for an unfolding drama, where every turn, every intersection, and every shadow could alter the outcome. familiar, ordinary, yet suddenly fraught with suspense, witnessed the unraveling of a truth that had remained hidden in darkness for far too long.
The case reached its critical moment. The suspect was apprehended, and the painstaking work of investigation began to bear fruit. Justice, though slow, had started its course. Yet the impact of that night remained deeply felt, reverberating through the lives of those who knew Ananya Suzy Poupart and the community that had been shaken by her disappearance. Community members gathered, searching for answers, seeking comfort, and attempting to reconcile the ordinary routines of their lives with the extraordinary events that had unfolded. Vigils were held, candles flickering in the night, casting gentle light against the darkened streets. Friends and family shared memories, recounting laughter, shared moments, and dreams unfulfilled. Every story was a reminder of a vibrant life, now tragically interrupted. Authorities continued to piece together the sequence of events, ensuring every detail of the night was accounted for. Statements were reviewed, evidence re-examined, and lessons were documented both for the sake of justice and to prevent similar tragedies in the future. In the hearts of those affected, grief was mingled with relief. Relief that the perpetrator had been found, but sorrow for the life lost, for the dreams unrealized, and for the void left behind. The city, once indifferent, now bore witness to the collective memory of Ananya Suzy Poupart, a reminder of both human vulnerability and resilience. Though justice had begun to be served, the shadow of that night lingered. A cautionary tale, a call to vigilance, and a testament to the enduring impact one life can have on many.
As the dust settled, the story of Ananya Suzy Poupart remained vivid in the hearts and minds of everyone touched by her life and untimely death. A life full of promise, abruptly taken, yet leaving a legacy of love, laughter, and inspiration. Communities came together to honor her memory. Vigils, memorials, and gatherings allowed people to reflect, to grieve, and to celebrate the light she brought into the world. Friends recounted her kindness, her humor, and her creativity, ensuring that her presence, though absent, remained tangible in their lives. The investigation, though resolved, served as a stark reminder of the fragility of safety and the unpredictable nature of human choices. It emphasized the importance of vigilance, empathy, and community. Every lesson learned from that night became a beacon for future awareness and protection, a testament to the enduring human need to care for one another. In remembering Ananya Suzy Poupart, we honor not just the tragedy, but also the vibrancy of her life. Her story compels us to look deeper, to notice the ordinary moments around us, to cherish connections, and to ensure that every life, no matter how fleeting, is remembered. Though the chapter has ended, her story continues to resonate, a tribute to a life lived fully, loved deeply, and remembered forever. In darkness, her memory shines as a guiding light, urging us to hold fast to humanity, compassion, and the power of remembrance.